All right, we are on video number 3. Y'all ready for this? Word problems, your favorite and mine, word problems. Yes, I know how you guys love those word problems. All right, we got a triangle. It says a triangle, so the first thing we do before even thinking about anything else is we're going to draw a nice, beautiful triangle. Talks about the perimeter. Now, if we think back what perimeter is, I do know that perimeter means if you add up all the sides, that's going to give you the perimeter. I like to put P equals, and I like to put that perimeter right in the middle there, 18x squared minus 6x plus 2. They tell you that one side, I'll put it down here on the bottom, one side is 9x squared plus 5x plus 2. They tell you that another side is 20x squared plus 2x minus 5. And then they want you to find the length of the third side. This third side is going to be over here in our triangle. We're going to try and find the length of that side. We don't know what it is right now. That's what we're going to find. Okay. Let's take an example of this just so we can wrap our head what we have to do here. Let's take an example of another triangle. And let's say that the perimeter of this triangle would equal 10. And if I told you that this side was 6, let me not do 6. This side was the perimeter equals 10. This side was 4. This side was 3. How much is this side right here? Well, what we would do is we would add the two sides that we know, the 4 and the 3, 4 plus 3, that equals 7. And because the total is 10, we can do 10 minus 7, and that would give us the third side, which would be 3. So we know that this side would equal 3. 4 plus 3, that equals 10. So what we did was we added the two sides that we knew and we subtracted from the perimeter because they told us the perimeter. All right. Same thing we're going to do on the other side, but slightly more complicated, but not too crazy because they give us x squareds and x's and all that fun math stuff. All right. So let's add the two sides that we know. The two sides that we know are 20x squared plus 2x minus 5. The other side that we know is 9x squared. Remember, you want to put these in your columns. Keep the x squareds together, keep the x's together, keep the regular numbers together, and plus 5x and plus 2. When we add this together, 20 plus 9, 29. We do not change the x squared. We're adding. It's like adding 20 apples and 9 apples. You get 29 apples. 2x and 5x plus 7x, negative 5 plus 2. That is going to be a negative 3. Make sure you get these right. Negative 5 plus 2 is a negative 3. All right. Now we have the two added up. So we're going to have to subtract that from the perimeter. Perimeter is 18. I wanted black. I didn't want red. Okay, we have 18x squared minus 6x plus 2. I'm going to throw that in some parentheses. We're going to subtract, and we're going to subtract 29x squared plus 7x minus 3. Now remember, way back in video 1, the very first one, we did this. We subtracted polynomials. Now, in order to subtract polynomials, we did same, change the sign, and change all. Same, change all. And this is how we do it. All right. So we have 18x squared minus 6x plus 2. And we're going to add that to this 29 is a minus 29 now, x squared. We had to change this sign. Okay, this sign is not negative. The negative is in the middle. This is a positive 29 that we had here. This 7x changes to a negative 7x. And this positive 2 changes, sorry, this negative 3, changes to a positive 3. Now we have our columns, and we're going to add them up. We have 18 minus 29. That gives us a negative 11 with an x squared. Negative 6 minus 7. That gives us a negative 13 with an x. And 2 plus 3 gives us a positive 5. So that's going to be your answer. Negative 11x squared minus 13x. And that's going to be a plus 5. Next, number 18. The length of a rectangle. Well, they said rectangle, so we're getting out our rectangle. The length is the long way in a rectangle. So we're going to put 3x minus 2 for the length. The width is 4x plus 1. Because this is a rectangle, I can put 3x minus 2 over here because rectangles have two of the same sides, and 4x plus 1. That's a 4, but I don't like the way it looks, so we're going to make sure it looks like the proper 4 that it is. Perimeter. We add up all the sides. That's the easy one. The area is not too bad either. Perimeter, though. Let's add up all the sides, and let's put them in columns while we do it, all right? Let's go 4x plus 1, another 4x plus 1, 3x minus 2, 3x minus 2. Let's add those up. And 1 plus 1 is 2, minus 2 is 0, minus another 2 is negative 2. Let's add up the x's. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's 14x minus 2. That is going to be your perimeter, 14x minus 2. All right. Next is going to be the area. Area is when we multiply length times width. Area is length times width. So we have the length of 3x minus 2 times the width of 4x plus 1. This is a FOIL situation. We have a binomial times a binomial, 3 times 4 with an x times an x, 12x squared. 3x times 1 plus 3x. Negative 2 times 4 minus 8x. Negative 2 times 1 minus 2. We do have like terms that we can combine. Those middle terms are like terms. So our answer is 12x squared minus 5x minus 2. All right, and that's what you would write them here, and you guys can do that. All right, that was 18. And I think we have to go to the next page for 19. Yes. A rectangle has an area. I do like to draw my shapes. I like my shapes. All right. Rectangle has an area equals x squared minus 2x minus 35. What are the dimensions? So they want to know what the length and what the width is. In order to find this is where we have to get the factors of the area. Okay, factors means what multiplies to get this. So to get the factors of a trinomial, what do we have to bring out? Say it. The big red X. Big red X comes out. And it's beautiful because it's just an X squared. So the bells and whistles go off in your head when it's just an x squared saying, I can do this. This is going to be the easy part, the shortcut way. At the top, what goes at the top? Negative 35. What goes at the bottom? Negative 2. Sign is negative. What multiplies to give you a negative? What do the signs have to be? One is positive, one is negative. When the signs are different, they're going to subtract to give me 2. Let's get the factors of 35. 35. 1 times 35. That doesn't subtract to give you 2. 2 doesn't go. 3 doesn't go. 4 doesn't go. 5 times 7. 7 minus 5. Does that equal 2? It does. But we have to make sure it equals a negative 2. So the bigger number has to be negative, the smaller number has to be positive. If you put in your calculator, 5, if you put in your calculator 5 minus 7, that will give you a negative 2, positive 5, negative 7. Okay, you have the sides of your x in a shortcut. Okay, so you have your answer there. These are your answers. You just have to put the letters in front of them. Don't forget, it's x this time. The width is going to be x plus 5. The length is going to be x minus 7. To tell you the truth, even if you got those mixed up, we'd still mark you right. All right. Um, it makes sense. Actually, it would probably technically be the opposite because the length is supposed to be bigger than the width, but don't worry about it. Seriously, we would never mark you wrong if you got these two mixed up. Okay? Doesn't matter. As long as you get them both correct, doesn't even matter where you would put these. We'll give you the credit for that. I promise you. All right. Rectangular cage. I see rectangular cage. I want to draw my rectangle. The floor of a rectangular cage has a length 3 feet more than twice the width. Oof. Wow, we're going back to some word problems that we had earlier, but we can do this. You guys are good. This is going to come back to you. All right. The floor has once they start telling you about the floor about the length, then the next thing they tell you about, which is the width, that gets the X. The width gets the X because they talked about it second. They started telling you all about the length, but then they started telling you about the width afterwards. They talked about the width second after the length. So whatever they talk about second gets the X. The length is 3 feet more, so plus 3, more than twice the width. So 2x plus 3. 3 feet more than twice the width. Jana will increase both dimensions by 5 feet. All right, so Jana's going to take these. She's going to go off and do her own rectangle, which is going to be bigger than the first one because she's going to increase it, both of them by 5 feet. So this is going to be 2x plus 3 plus 5 more. And I'll just combine that right now. And I'll just say 2x plus 8 because 3 plus 5 is 8. So we're going to add 5. We're going to say it's 2x plus 8. Ugly 8 right there. Let's get rid of that. And let's make that a little nicer looking. Slightly, not much. And this side's going to increase by 5 as well. Jana wants to increase this side by 5 as well. So now they want to know the new area of this bigger rectangle. So we have length and width. How do we get area of a rectangle? Length times width. 2x plus 8 times x plus 5. This is a binomial. We can FOIL this, okay? 2x times x, first times first, is 2x squared. Then 2x times 5, that's the outsides, is plus 10x. The insides, 8 times x plus 8x. And the last is 8 times 5 plus 40. We have to combine something. What do we combine? Yep, we combine those x's in the middle, like terms. 2x squared plus 18x plus 40. That's going to be our area. So the new area, that answer goes right here in this space over here, the new area. I'll write it. 2x squared plus 18x plus 40. And now they want to know the perimeter of the original. The original has an x on this side, and on this side, it's 2x plus 3. So let's add up the sides. Let's add up all the x's here. 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 x's altogether. 6x. And let's add the numbers. We just have 3 and 3. Give it a little highlight. 3 and 3. That's going to be 6. So 6x plus 6 is the perimeter of the original. This is too much fun. All right. 21. The volume. Volume. If you know what volume is, you realize that you're going to need three answers. So think in your head how to get volume. Volume is length times width times height. So when you see volume, bells and whistles should go off in your head, and you should say, I'm going to have a GCF here. No doubt going to have a GCF here. So let's look at the numbers 6 and 24. Do we have a GCF of 6 and 24? What's the biggest number that multiplies to 6 and 24? Well, let's look at 6 because it can't be bigger than 6. Does 6 multiply into 24? It does. So that's going to be our number GCF. Now let's look at the letters. Do they both have letters in their terms? Term 1 has an M. Term 2 has an M. We're going to take the smallest M, which is just regular old M, and that is going to be our GCF. So we're going to divide by 6M. We're going to divide by 6M. 6 divided by 6 is 1. M to the third divided by M to the first, I'll put. This is a Nintendo DS situation. They want us to divide exponents, but we're really going to subtract. 3 minus 1 is M to the second power. Negative 24 divided by 6 is going to be a negative 4. Watch your signs. And M divided by M is canceling out. So right now we would only have two answers, but we know we need three. So we're going to have to look and see if we have perfect squares going with a minus in the middle. Is M squared a perfect square? It is, because M times M equals M squared. Remember, when you multiply, you add the exponents. Is 4 a perfect square? It is, because the square root of 4 is 2, because 2 times 2 equals 4. So we have a difference of perfect squares. Difference means that there's a subtraction in the middle. So 6M has to come down. When we have a difference of perfect squares, we have one parentheses, we have two parentheses, we throw a plus in the middle of one, we throw a minus in the middle of the other. The beginning goes at the beginning of both. The square root of M squared is M. The square root of 4 is 2. That goes at the end of both. These are the answers. Next. All right.